सज्जन सर स्टार्ट करिए.
Yeah. Hello. Good morning. Welcome, friends. Good evening. You all are invited in our today's seminar. सुभाष जी.
सर बोल रहा हूँ, बोलिए क्या हुआ.
सुभाष जी कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है, आप देखिए ना.
नहीं, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, सही है. आसिफ सर स्टार्ट करिए.
जी. All right. Thank you, Mr. Sajjan. जी, आप now let us. I think yesterday we had one topic which we wanted to cover and we couldn't, and as promised, let us first take that up before we move on to R. So before I start the topic of R, we'll let us first cover what we had asked last time. Okay, so all right. So we did something called as stored procedures. Now, stored procedures are basically code which we want to call again and again, and we don't want to write the entire SQL syntax repeatedly. Triggers, on the other hand, I'm not audible?
जी आ रहे.
Hello.
Audible.
Audible, na? Okay. Mr. Saurabh Gupta said I'm not audible, so I just wanted to check. Okay, so yes. So what happens with a stored procedure is that you write a code which will be executed again and again, but will be executed by by the user or by some software. So generally, please understand what happens is that the database is the backend of an application. So when you run any kind of an application, whether आप उसे cloud, whether you run it in a cloud, whether you run it on a mobile, whether you run it on a computer like a laptop or a desktop, your data is always stored in a backend which is called a database. So MySQL is a database. Now, if there is some code written inside the database which I want to execute again and again, so why should I write code inside a database? First of all, so things which are related to the data, if I do it inside the database, I can do it much faster using directly the language of the database, that is SQL. So if I can use the language of the SQL to work with some data, I can manipulate it faster rather than taking the data out of the database, then manipulating it and then again putting it back in. So there are some reasons why we want to do sometimes coding or some kind of processing, rather not coding, some kind of data processing within the database itself, and this is where stored procedures come in handy. And another extension of stored procedures, if you may allow me to use that word, is called as triggers. Now the difference between triggers and stored procedures is that a trigger occurs by a event on the database. So for example, in my diagram, which you see on right now on your screen, and I hope the slide is visible to everyone, is Mr. Deepak Agarwal is also saying not able to listen. I don't know what to do.
I think they might have some internet problem. You please leave the meeting and rejoin. Then they will be able to listen because your voice is coming properly.
So I think somebody needs to tell them on WhatsApp that they need to do that, because मैं बोलूँगा तो भी सुनेंगे नहीं. They will not be able to hear it.
Okay.
Yes. I am so sorry for the, but वो क्या होता है ना, somebody pops up a question, वो मेरा screen पे आता है, तो I think I need to answer.
ठीक है, मैं उनको आंसर कर देती हूँ.
हाँ WhatsApp group पे मैम just लिख दीजिए. So one of the things which happens with a trigger is that it occurs due to some other event. So you don't call the trigger directly. Actually, you do something which acts as a trigger for executing some function or some code. This is called a trigger. So trigger, basically there are three types of triggers. There is an insert trigger, update trigger, or delete trigger. Basically what does it mean? If I insert a data into the table, and before that insertion or after that insertion of that data, if I want to do something, then I use an insert trigger. When I edit something in a table, edit means I update. I use the statement called update. If I edit something in the table, any data, and I want to call and execute or some piece of SQL syntax along with the update, means before the update, after the update, then I can use update trigger. And when I delete something from a database, if I want to execute some code or some instructions, then I use the delete trigger. So there are three basic types of triggers: insert trigger, update trigger, delete trigger. The syntax and everything remains very similar. There's not too much of a difference between the three. It is just that when are they called. So whether you want to call a trigger when a data is added, new data is added to the table, or when data is updated in the table, or when something is deleted from a table. So depending on that, we can have the three different types of triggers: insert triggers, update triggers, and delete triggers. Now, with that in mind, let me give an example. Okay, so what we will do is we'll directly take an example. I will create a separate table for this, not to so हमारे पास, if you remember, so in my MySQL workbench, you will always see this local instance of MySQL server which has been created on your computer. I click on that. When I click on it, hopefully it will start quickly. Yes. So now what I do is I will first start off with, agar aapko yaad hoga, yesterday we had done this. So I will start with use classic models. So once I use classic models, okay, I will now write a new create table. कल हम लोगों ने सीखा था. Yesterday we had learned how to create a table. I will just repeat for the benefit of everybody what I have done. I'm creating a table called employees underscore audit. So employee table is already there in my classic model. We have a table called employees, if you can see over there on the left hand side. I am creating an employees underscore audit, and in that I have these fields called as ID, which is an integer variable auto increment and a primary key, a field called employee number, which is again an integer variable which cannot be null. So I'm putting a constraint that this variable cannot be empty. ID automatically will be created with an auto increment, and it is the primary key. I don't want the user to give me the ID. I want to create that ID on my own because it's basically just a sequence number. Then I have the last name of the employee, which is a varchar of size 50. Again, not null, it has to be there. Change date, which will be a date time data type, okay, with default null, and action, which is again a text alphanumeric varchar 50, default null. So these are the 5 attributes which I will be there in the table. Let me just control enter. So I should be able to see employees audit now. Can you see this? So I have this employees table. Now What I want to do is I want to now create a separate trigger. I will explain the code of the trigger first, and then I will show you what I'm going to achieve. Okay. So after this, let me just copy this. For people, please, आप लोगों को use लिखने तो आता ही है, so I'm just putting it in the chat that you need to write the create. अगर आपको, if you want, I will copy paste the create.
Office now.
Okay. So let me start off with the trigger. ये वो single code वाला problem था. Okay. So again, I'll just explain what I have written. I'm creating a trigger. So create जो keyword है that it is creating a trigger जिसका नाम मैंने लिखा है before employee update. मतलब ये मेरा नाम है. I have just given it whatever name I want to the trigger. It is called before employee update, one word, underscore के साथ. We have used underscores to put it into a one word. Name of the trigger has to be a single word, so you have to use underscore if you want to use spaces instead. Now, I want it to happen before an update on the table employees. Now, this trigger will be executed before an update happens on employees table. So, employees table, if anything changes, if I make a change in the employee table, automatically for each row which I insert in for each row of update, what I will do is I will insert into employees audit table. Employees audit table is different from employees table. So agar employees table gets an update, I will want to make a entry into the audit table setting the value that an update action has occurred on the employee number, the last name of the employee, and the time. Change date is, I'm giving the date and time, so that is now. Now is a function which gives me the current system date and time. I think yesterday ma'am had already explained to you. So now over here what I'm writing is employee number is equal to old.employee number. That means the old employee number which I was there, I will use that one, not the updated one, so that if I want to trace back, I can trace it back. This old is the keyword which I have, which I can use to trace back to the, so old employee number and old last name, because I don't know what has been updated in the table employees. हो सकता है, it might be possible that you have updated the last name of the person. It might be possible that you have updated the employee number of the person. So I don't know whether it has changed. So I want before change data. So I want to update. I want to say that the action which was performed was an update action. This is a text which I'm mentioning in my audit table. And this. Why do we do this? This is basically a table which will keep a track if any changes have occurred to the employees table by somebody. So if anybody changes any record in the employee table, that basically means an update. So anytime something is updated in the employees table, an audit table will create an entry for it and a narration of what happened. So this values are the narration that an update happened on whom, on the employee number so and so, on the whose last name was so and so, and on the date, the change date when the action occurred, that date was now. Now means the will be stored in that record. So this trigger will be executed. Once I execute this trigger, okay, I would let me just see the output. Okay, so the create trigger has been affected, so that is no problem with the trigger. Now once this trigger is done, I will copy paste. Yeah, I've already put the create table there. I'm just putting the create trigger code also for you. Okay, in the chat. Now once that is done, the next thing which I do is, suppose you come back anytime and somebody wants to update the table. Okay, another is I can just use a show trigger to see whether the triggers have been created. So this is just a command show. If you remember, show table will show you all the tables. Show database will show you all the databases. So this show trigger shows me that there is a trigger called before underscore employee underscore update. Okay, which will occur on an update event on the employee table. Okay, it will occur before the update occurs, and it will keep all the values over there. So this is all generated automatically. I don't need to worry about it. Just show triggers will show me that the trigger is there. Now, after the show triggers, I want to actually make an update. Just to test the trigger, I want to make an update. So let me just first show you the select star from employees. Okay, just because I want to update the employee table. Okay, and let's say there is an employee number 1056, which is Patterson.
Asif sir, please paste and change it to all audience.
Sorry.
Queries have been pasted into organizers and panelists only.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I repeat, I'm pasting the. I've copied and pasted the create table first, and then the create trigger. I hope now everybody can see this. Okay, show triggers will show you the trigger. Now, what I'm doing is I will update and rename that Patterson. So what I'm doing is I'm writing update employees table and set last name of Patterson. Okay, last name Patterson. How do I know it is Patterson? I will change Patterson to, let's call him Sharma, if you don't mind. I will set the last name equal to Sharma, where employee number equal to 1056. So 1056, if you look at the employee code, is Mr. Patterson. So Marv Patterson. Now he will become Marv Sharma. Okay. I can even update the first name also, but right now I'm just updating the last name. So I'm updating the last name of 1056 employee code to this. Now, when I do this, Control Enter, automatically two things will happen. First of all, the update of Patterson to Sharma will happen. And 2, another entry will be created in the employee audit table, employees audit table. So let us see first, select star from employees. Okay, let us again check the employees. We will see that Mr. Patterson has become Mr. Sharma now. Okay, 1056 automatically has become Mr. Sharma. Also, if I select star from employees underscore audit, you will see that it tells me that employee number 1056, whose last name was Patterson, has been changed on 5th December 2020 at 6 p.m. 25 minutes and 7 seconds. Update has happened. So this audit table will tell me what changes have occurred. So if I create such triggers on any table, I can maintain audits. So, in your profession also, audit is a very important job and a critical aspect. So database triggers can be created for any changes into the database. Even I can, this right now I've done it for update, I can do it for delete, I can do it for insert. In a very similar fashion, I can do that. So what you need to do is you need to just run this update query and this select star from this. So I'll just copy paste it again to the chat window, hopefully. Okay, so I know the surname has changed because I did a select star from employees. Correct? Okay, so if I do select star from employees instead of audit, I will then see the change. If I do underscore audit, then I will see who has changed. And if I do select star from employees and run that, I will see that Marv Sharma, whose employee ID was 1056, wo Sharma ho gaya. Clear? Everybody's understood?
They are getting error while creating the trigger. Some set action.
अरे हाँ मैम वो सिंगल कोट का प्रॉब्लम है. I copy pasted it. Guys, if you can just remember, the single quote might be troubling you. I had the same problem. Yes.
Last single quote, na, they have to change and again type.
Yeah, if you see this update, if I don't know if you can see this, notice this. This update ka single quote, the closing quote is wrong. So backspace and put the single quote yourself. Everything below should become black. अगर वो नहीं होगा, so everything below it will be green. If it is green, then the problem is with the single quote. Just remove that quote and put manually, comma ke pehle. After the update, the single quote has to be deleted and added by you. And then you hit Control Enter, it will work. Yes, now everybody is saying working. Whenever I copy paste code, remember that errors can come because of single quotes or double quotes. This happens again and again and again, and we keep forgetting. Just check your triggers by saying show triggers. Show triggers will list out all the triggers which are there. If you have more than one trigger, it will be there. Right now, एक ही trigger है, therefore I can see only one. Before employee update also. All right. So I think we've done the trigger part also. Ma'am, we can move now to R.
Yes. I hope everyone has installed R in their machines. I hope so that everybody has installed R in their machines.
Everybody saying yes right now.
Okay, fine.
Installation of R does not take more than 10 minutes. So I hope everybody has taken out the 10 minutes and done that.
Thank you, everybody. So you have saved our time. So let us start today with the basic R. So what do I request? If you have installed R Studio also, so let us go to this. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So let me go to R Studio then. R Studio, right? And let me open this also. Now, why do we have to learn R? And why we are doing this? So R is basically a statistical tool developed by statisticians to make the work easy, and where a lot of operational research analysis can be made interactive. Also, financial analytics we can do. मुझे थोड़ा सा इधर हिकअप होता है because we are not from finance background and we are teaching to the people who are good into finance, right? So it is basically for this, and we will cover a few case studies also how you can do that. And there are big companies who are using R, and for what purpose? So I have taken few examples of them. So Bank of America, they are basically using Excel files, and now they are using R for financial modeling and for visualization also. See, the thing is, this visualization part and analytical part is not there with the databases. So databases are meant for storing the data, and then on the top of it, so once your data is stored, now on the top of data you want to do analytics. So how do we can do that analytics? So these are the softwares via which we can do all those analytics. So hence R is there, which we have to consider that it is on the top of the database where we can do any kind of analytics, and if we want to do any kind of visualization, charts and all that, so we will get those. Even sorry, Chicago is using this. Facebook is also using this for plotting and for their custom visualization. New York Times also using for election forecast, and I think so many people have seen nowadays election forecasting is happening and all that. And even Twitter uses it to monitor the user experience on its network. So all these are the very few examples I have taken. A majority of the companies nowadays are using this. These are the few of them name that how they use it and what do they do. Now, what is R Studio? So why do I said you to open this? So that I can show you how it looks like. Let me create a file. How it has came onto your screens? I think so it might have came like this, right? So if you see this R Studio, this is showing something called as console. So console is like our command prompt. Like how do we go to CMD, right? We say CMD. So we see a command prompt here. So similar manner, this is a console. This is a terminal and jobs. So we are not going to touch them. We will be working on to this only. That is our console. And how we are going to work. So you can see here, this is one part, and this is showing a prompt. Greater than sign ko we always call it as a prompt. So where do we can write our commands? So here we will say commands, and in databases we call it as queries. So whatever we write onto the prompt here are called as commands. And then onto the right hand side, if you see, it is showing me an environment. Now what is this environment? So whatever variables, whatever files we will use, all will get stored here into a tab called as data, in this, into the environment, right? And then we have history. History will tell us about the last executed commands, if any. आपको blank आएगा because you have not done any command here. I was doing a case study for you all, so उसका commands है सब. Then connections. So this is for the connection with the database and all that. So if I want to connect it to MySQL, how do I can do that? So all these will come here, and this is the tutorial on R. Similar manner, here our plots will come if I am going to do any kind of plot. If any files, so all files will come here, what are there in this folder. Then packages, what happens is R is a software that is made up of with packages, and these packages consist of many libraries. How we can work with R is how data manipulation, data visualization is possible. So what do these people have done? They have made our job easy, that by writing a single command, we are able to get the entire statistics of a file. So how is it possible? So there are inbuilt functions via which we can do that. And how to get those inbuilt functions? So these inbuilt functions are collectively, like if I talk about statistics, so all statistics functions are written into one library, and then they are stored in, like a similar manner, they are stored into the packages. So you can consider it like a folder. Windows may we have folders. Inside the folders we create subfolders, and in subfolders we put our files. Similar manner, packages are there. Packages consist of libraries, and these libraries consist of all the functions that we need. So that's the reason we should know which package and which library is used for what kind of work. उतना ही जानना होता है. Then again writing, so if we are using inbuilt function, it becomes very easy to work into it. So this is about this R Studio. And then whenever we have to write anything, what I generally used to do is I go to file menu, new file, and R script. So what is going to happen if I will put any command onto the console, then what happens is it gets lost it. So what we do is we put it into a script, and if we want to save it, we can save it. And when we execute it, it will come onto the console with its output. So all the outputs will come here. And I usually put all the commands into where? Into this. Like suppose I'm writing a variable x equals to 5. And now I have to execute it. Similar manner how we executed into this MySQL. So it has stored this x. Now I want to print its value. So I'm writing this. So it will print its value. It is that simple. Okay. And then for graphical outputs, that if I want to have scatter plots or any kind of other plots, I want to see the relationship, correlationship between the various variables. So for that, I need a graphical output that we will see. Everything we will see in the further lectures. So let me first understand the terminology in R, like how we have studied select, insert, update into MySQL. These are the terms we should know, where clause for conditions and in all that. Similar manner, here we have some terminology in R, what is called as what we should know. Now the number one thing is that it consists of, like I have created x equals to 5. So it's a variable. So variable is basically in which we can store a value, and that value might change over the period of time, and that is called as a variable. Now here what do we have is the different terms, similar manner. So we have data, right? And data to be stored in a particular format that we have learned, right? Data types we have learned. So here you can consider them as a data types. I will take all those in a short while. So what is it? Basically, they are in the form of objects. Okay, so what is atomic vector? So first one is what? Atomic vector. So here atomic vector is like an array. I don't know whether you know the concept of arrays or not. May I get this, whether you know the concept of arrays? What is an array? Okay, no. Okay, let me give you another example of it. What is an array? Array is basically a set of collections. Yes, I am explaining. Array is a set of collections of similar type. Similar type means, suppose if I am creating a set of integers, then it will contain all integer values and there will be no decimal value in it. And if I am storing the character strings, so all will be the character values. If I am storing float values, so all will be having float values. So this is called as atomic vector. There means a set which consists of similar elements. So atomic vector is an object that contains only one form of data. I can't have mixed form of data. So this could be of logical type, numeric type, complex type, and character type, but all will be having same type of values. The next is attach. Now what do we mean by attach is, it is basically to add an item to the search list. Attach kar do, add kar do. So it is that term, because all these terms, these functions, these we are going to use. The next is data frame. See, what happens is whenever we bring data from anywhere, like from databases, you can bring it from Excel, or you can bring it from a CSV file, we say comma separated values file. So data could be brought from anywhere into R, but the thing is what, R does not understand that data directly. The reason is because it uses different types of data types. In you can see that there into MySQL we have learned about that there is integer. Even integer was having 4 different types: tiny int, big int, right, and all that. So what happens is then R doesn't able to understand, and all databases call it as different. If we go to Oracle, Oracle has is what, integer one type. Second is a number data type. So their number data type takes float values, whereas MySQL have a data type called as float for the similar job. So here in R we can bring data from anywhere, but then it don't understand what does this type of data means. Number ko I consider as float, float ko I consider as float or real. In in SQL Server it is called as a real. So all databases call them as different, right? So that is a big problem for R to understand how to manipulate then this data. So for that, it does is what, it takes that data and stores into the data frame, and then you can work with those data frames, right? So सबसे पहले क्या करना पड़ता है, database चाहे कैसा भी हो, we have to first store it into the data frame. So R converts it into data frame, and that R understands, right? So you can say as data frame is an intermediator between other databases and between R. So what happens is, it is also a rectangular data object because it consists of rows and columns. And here each column may be a different type of data. Like you are storing employee ID, employee name, their salary, and so on. So conceptually, it is a generalization of a matrix, but implemented entirely different. Then we have is, how do we can represent categorical data? As I have given you example previously also, like suppose I am storing a file where I am putting the gender of the people. So their gender is what? Male, female, and transgender. 3 genders are allowed to put the values there. Now, how we will treat this inside R? So R, what it will do, it will say that convert it into factors. Factor means it is going to be a categorical data, how it gets stored. So those are called as factors. So categorical data will be stored and called as factor. Then we have another one, list. So list is basically a component where we can have list. List consists of multiple components. Multiple components means we can have multiple values into it. अब आप बोलोगे multiple values vector में भी थी, इधर भी, ऐसे कैसे? So here it can have multiple. उसमें क्या था? Component was single. You can have single vector, but here you can have multiple objects into it. So hence it is called as a what? List. Then we have matrix. So matrix is again a rectangular data object where all cells have same data type. Right? So here it is called as what? Matrix. And then as I said, packages. So what are packages? So all the functionality of R is stored into these packages. So we need to install those packages whenever needed, and we have to use their libraries and their functions to get our work done. So these are the terms, basic terms. Let me do some basic computations in R now. So I have made this slide so that you should be comfortable with R. MySQL में हमने वो नहीं किया था तो सबको थोड़ा tough जा रहा था, right? So let us do this. So everybody please open your R Studio. Once you are done, please let me know. Open, very good. So let us start now. So let us first write few numbers here. I have written 5. You also start writing 5. Then you can see here, yes, you can use any, either R or either R Studio, doesn't matter. Both are same. Links are already been shared into the drive, Google Drive. Vishal sir, factor is basically used for categorical data. Like into one column when we have categories, like if I am storing a gender, so there it will come. Like suppose, let me take another example. Suppose bank has to give a loan to somebody and then he has to predict whether he will be a defaulter or not. So there in defaulter the values will come yes and no. So in one particular column, the values will come from 2 different domains. So that is called as factor. When we will do example, you will understand more. Aarti ma'am is saying voice is not coming. Please rejoin. R and R Studio folders are stored in program files folder. How to? First you have to install them. Harshad sir, please install them. Double click onto them, their exe files, it will get installed. Just do next, next, next. It will get installed. Both. First install R, then install R Studio. Sequence to be maintained. First install R, then R Studio. Yes, Vishal sir, we will send today's PPT in PDF form. How did I get this entitled one? I went to file, new file, and then R script. I went to R script. File, new file, and R script. Yes. Okay. Where is run command in R? So just how you did it into MySQL, select this and control enter, shortcut key. It will get executed. Now I am writing 5 plus 3 and let's see its answer do it gives. Yes, it's working fine. Can you see here? I have written 5 plus 3. It has given the answer in the console window that it is 8. So here, this is the window where we will get all the answers. And whatever we will use now here, it will get stored here. Let me take a variable here so that it will get so I think now everybody is with me, and let me start now. I am writing here x equals to 10 and y equals to 20, and then I am saying x plus y. So what it will print now, I need to execute all the three. So either you can execute them one by one, or you can select all and then press control enter. It will execute the entire thing. See here, it has given x equals to 10, y equals to 10, and x plus y is giving the result as 30. So this one, it is showing that one value is returned, that is 5. Here it is showing one value is returned, that is 30. Ye one is the index number here. And then you can see here in the environment, whatever we have taken x as variable, y as variable, it has stored here as data. You can see here values x and y. So it goes into the environment. So you can take these x and y at any time. Okay. Unable to establish connection with R session. So initially they will come blank, na? Then when you will declare these variables, Abhi Kumar sir, then only it will come. What error it is showing you? Unable to establish connection with R session. What will come, sir? Abhi Kumar sir, have you opened R or R Studio? First, let me get that. Have you opened the R Studio? Bhavin Shah, please, you install R first and then R Studio. It might be that you have installed R Studio and not R. Display is very slow. Sir, it might be your internet speed is slow, because if R is stored into your local machine, it doesn't take internet. Okay, then there should be no problem, sir. Shah sir, there should be no problem if you have installed R also. Then open R. Let me show you with R also, Bhamin sir. Please come here. Let's go to all programs, and then let me go to R and open R. Can you see here R ka version? I have multiple versions because I deal with multiple versions of it based on to what kind of content do we teach. So you will get R console like this if you click on to R. So please, Bhavin Shah sir, see this if you are getting this. Yes, yes, yes. Even if you have Windows 10, this setup will work. Yes, yes, done. Now you can write here. Whatever commands you are writing now, write here. Like suppose I have given 5 here. You can see here it has taken. I am saying x equals to 10, it will take. Y equals to 20, it will take. Then if I will write x plus y, it will gives me the result. So even if R Studio is not working with fine with you, you can work here into R console directly in R. Okay. So it doesn't matter. Here what happens is we are able to see, because it's a GUI, like how we did with my SQL workbench. Instead of MySQL, we have worked with SQL workbench. So similar manner, you can do this. Okay. So let us do some more computations. Like here it is written, let me do this, 3 into 8 divided by. So what it means? See, normally I can do, that is 3 into 8. It is 24 divided by 2 into 3. So that is 6. So 24 divided by 6 is equals to 4, right? So here I am checking. So this is called as whether it is. Did you remember there into MySQL we have written less than or equals to? So we have similar manner greater than or equals to. So here in R we write first equals to and then greater sign. So what it says is whether this value is equals to or greater than 4. So here we are testing. So we are doing a relational check whether this is true or false. So it will give me a Boolean output. So let us execute this and see this. So what it is giving me is there is an error. So let me do with greater than 4. So what it has given me is what? It is false. And then if I will say greater than or equals to 4. So what it has given me as true. Why? So it is true because 24 divided by 6 is equals to 4. So here condition we have put whether it is greater than or equals to 4. So or wala right aaya. So it has given me answer as what? True. Done. Everybody is with me now. Just to make you comfortable with this environment, we are doing all this. Otherwise you will say school stuff kyun mujhe shuru karwa diya. Just to make you comfortable that how it works. Then you can use how to find out the square root of a number. So we have an inbuilt function called as square root. So square root of 121 is what? We can ask also, instead of making a Boolean check, we can ask it what is the square root of 121, and we will execute it, and it will give us the answer that square root of 121 is 11, right? And then you can check also always that what it is. Yes, let me post all the commands here also in the chat. You do it one by one. Yes, I have posted all the commands, so you can do those. Three into 8 equals to 24 is showing error. It will show an error because you have not put the brackets before 3 and after 8. Please enclose it into brackets. Harshil, sir, please enclose them into bracket. Make it like this. 3 into 8 equals to 24. Then it will work. Let me show you here also. Three into 8. 3 into 8 is equals to 24. It is saying target attribute. So let me take it. So what happens is into programming languages, equals to is basically an assignment operator. Equals to is what? An assignment operator where values get assigned to this. See here, 10. 10 got assigned to X here. So it is like X equals to 10 means this 10 got assigned into X. So single equals is an assignment operator. If we want to make a relational check, then we have to use is a double equals. Okay, so just make it a double equals, then it will work. Abhishek sir, you are saying this big number, it got error. Why so? It depends on the data type size. So in R, data type of an integer is limited, hence it gives you an error. So R is basically, in R, the integer size is basically 64 bits. So 64 bit you can store maximum up to. So if it is more than that, it will gives you an error. So if you will ask me what is 64 ka size, maximum size, so it is 2 raised to power 64. So you will get the answer. 1024 raised to power 1 divided by 10. Error, object X cannot find. For what, Abhi sir, you have got the error? Abhi sir, if you have written all the codes now execute them one by one, or even you can select all and then press Ctrl plus Enter to execute. All will get executed one by one. Abhishek Khandewal sir, it's not an error, but it's a big number which has got converted into where exponential format. 4.4163 raised to power 12. Answer which you have got. Double equals to, Nishant sir, means is what, when we do a comparison. So we are saying here is 3 into 8 equals to 24. So when we ask a query na, is it equals to? So both are equal or not? Then we put is comparison. When we are doing comparison, then you have to use this double equal sign, because single equal to sign in computer programming, it is considered as assignment. So if we have to check whether two things are equal or not, then we use this double equal sign. Done now? Okay, so let's move ahead now. So let us learn more about it. So here we did about what is a vector. So vector is going to be a variable which will be storing the same data type. So R has basic 5 classes of objects. One is character, second is number, numeric type, integer. Numeric type will store real numbers, whereas integers, which it will store whole numbers, then complex numbers, and then we will have logical true or false values. And whatever we store into R is called as an object, whether it's a vector, matrix, data frame, even a variable also. So all R treats them as an object. So these objects means, it means these classes have attributes. So objects you can consider, how do we have said into MySQL, an entity. Similar manner, object is an entity. So it means if it is an entity, it will have attributes also. Now what kind of attributes do they have? So they have names, they have dimensions, they have a class to which it belongs, and they have a length. So what type of length do they have? Right, so all these are the properties we can see into it. So the basic object in R is called as a vector, and let us see how do we can create different classes of vectors. So here are few examples I have shown you. With directly you can use is what? Assignment operator, x equals to 10. So there are different ways how we can assign values to a variable. One is equals to sign, which we all know, but R also supports this sign, less than and hyphen. With this also we can assign a value to a variable. So you can see here I have written x equals to 10, and then if I try to print the value of x, it will print as 10. So you can see here that it has printed the value as 10. So this is also an assignment operator. So let us see now. I am doing something else also. So let me do this, whether it works or not. No, this doesn't work. Instead of this, if I will take here as a greater than symbol, yeah, we did this, and then okay, so this is again a left assignment operator, we call it as. So this is also used as what? Assigning the values. And then this is another way. So in most of the R tutorials, you will see that for assignment, they are using is what? This operator, that is left assignment operator, we call it as. So this you will see. So here it has created a vector with the name as A. Now what is C here? C is a inbuilt function in R which is used to concatenate the values into one single component, or we call it as combine function. So the short of combine is what? C. So what happens is here we are storing the arithmetic numbers, that is numeric values, float values having decimal values. So you can see here the values are what? 1.8 and 4.5. And this is what C, that is called as combine these two into a vector called as A. So how do we have to define this? Now A is a vector that consists of two values. One is 1.8 and another one is 4.5. Now why do we create vectors? Like you can store one vector to store employee IDs, one vector to have employee names, one vector to have employee salaries, and later on we can work with these vectors. करेंगे धीरे धीरे, just you get familiar with all these data types first. Then again B is a vector. So what we are storing? So again we are taking C function. So here it is going to store two complex numbers. So you can see here the complex number is written 1 plus 2i, and another complex number is 3 minus 6i. Similar manner, we have an integer vector which is storing two values as 23 and 44. You can take any values. And another vector we are making as logical, and its length equals to 5. So let us do all those and see how it works onto our R. So let us see now. First, let us make this as a new vector. So what is it? I have also said A equals to what? This one. And let me enter this. So it has created this vector. Now if I want to print A, so what it will print? So you can see here it has printed both the values 1.8 and 4.5. So what it is telling me, that there are two values this. So let me send you this command also. so that you can run and check. So this is how you can create a different type of vectors. All these vectors you can create and check how they are working. So I have created one more here, that is for the logical one. And let's see what happens is, in this logical, it stores two values. One is true and false, and by default it has value false. So here we have specified the length as 5, so it has taken 5 false values, because a logical vector takes by default 5. One for all results is what it has run onto the first line. Line numbers deta hai. When we will do list data type, na, you will understand that. One is the line number. Okay. So till now these vectors are being created. So similarly you can create multiple vectors. So let us move to the next one now. So here you can see you can do assignment with equals, you can do with left word, and you can do with right word also. So let us see how we can assign values in the right word fashion. So when we are assigning towards right word fashion, so what will happen, that the value which we want to assign, left में क्या था, variable. So remember this, variable is on to the left hand side, assignment. So if we are saying right hand side, the order would get changed. So here we are saying 20 to be assigned to y. So let me see whether it works fine or not. So yes, it works fine, and then I am saying x plus y, so it has given the value. So what will happen, generally ये confusion वाला है. I don't use it because I am using computers from last so many years. So we have a habit of using assignments in this way, that variable is always written onto the left hand side and values are always written onto the right hand side. So right hand side value gets assigned to the left hand side. I have never done this practice. So if you want to do, you can do. R gives this facility also, that you can have assignments on to the left, to the right, or with the equal operator. So all these are possible with R. So this is okay. Now next is let's take an example. First let's do this example one. See here, suppose you have 5 Reliance Industries stock in your stock portfolio and 7 Wipro stocks. So how you will see this? I am assigning two variables. One is Reliance Limited. So here the values of stock is 5. Wipro, where the value is 7. Now if I want to add these two variables to get the total stocks in my portfolio, so it will be Reliance plus Wipro, and then total. Now suppose it will give me directly the value, but if I want to assign it to a variable, so then I am creating here total stocks equals to Reliance plus Wipro, which will give me the total stocks. Okay, so we can do this. How is R better than Excel in financial working? मेघना जी, धीरे धीरे हम लोग ये करते जाएंगे तो आपको समझ में आ जाएगा how it is better, because in Excel you have is what data entries, right? So here it works with different types of databases at a time, and there is no limit onto the file size as well, and it gives better visualizations than Excel. Okay, so please do this, all of you, these commands, that rel and assign value 5 to it. In Wipro, 7 and perform these and see the results, whether it is working fine or not. And what value? See, total stocks directly भी लिख सकते हैं variable it prints, or you can use it with a print function, and then in the bracket you can give the name of the variable. Like here I have printed a value of x by writing x directly, or I can write here print and then in the bracket I can write x. In both the ways it will work fine. See here. So it has printed x10 and then it has printed the value of x. So directly by writing the value of variable, directly just writing the variable also it works, and this also. How it is different? May this seem similar to Python? Yes, it is very much similar to Python. Python was not in reality created as a statistical tool, but देखो कैसा है, generally what do I say in this is, market है, सबने दुकान खोला है सामान बेचना है, right? So everybody started giving those services to the people who are others are also providing. So मेरा client मेरे पास ही रहना चाहिए, कहीं जाना नहीं चाहिए. So Python in reality was developed by a professor who developed it to make it easy, uh, basically to teach the concept of programming language in an easy way. So before Python, whatever programming languages we used to teach, basically C, C++, Java, they have many syntaxes which are to be used before printing a value. So वो compulsory use करना पड़ता था. So he has created Python first to teach the programming language in an easy manner. So actually Python was meant for that. Later on, when it was being commercialized, so they have added all these packages. R आ चुका था market में. R was for statistical analysis. So Python has also started it. They have also developed the libraries into it, and they are giving it into the market. I think so. Even Excel was not having that much facility later on. Now you can see many plugins are available into this. Okay. Yes, R is case sensitive. Yes, R is case sensitive. So even if you see all these data analytics packages are available in Java, are available in C++, even now you can take any language, they all support this. The reason is what everybody wants to be in the market. No one wants to be outdated. So everybody is updating themselves. Even now data analytics packages are available in .NET. So even Microsoft is also bringing so many libraries. So if you will say what is the major difference, so R was one of the language which was made by a statistician to do the statistical work. So definitely it will, whenever you have to do analytics and this, it is going to give you more and more benefit. Basic is going to remain same with all the languages. If your work is very basic, so you can use any whatever you have, but specific if you will say, so related to financial analytics and this, so R gives better results. So all these tools were meant with a specific motto first initially, and later on everybody, because in the market everybody has to stay, so they have also started selling the same thing. Okay. So I think I have made now maximum I have answered now. So I think now everybody has executed this. So let us move towards now next data type list. As I was telling you that it is a vector which contain different elements. So you can see here in previous vectors we have created when integer, so it was taking only integer. When decimal numbers, so it was taking decimal numbers. When Boolean values, so it was taking only Boolean values. Now here you can see that it has taken the different values, like here it's a integer, string, boolean, complex number. So all are different values and it has taken it. And when I have created this list with the different values, and when I execute it, how do it shows is onto the first, वो जो पूछ रहे थे ना one number क्या आ रहा है, so it is telling me that the first object is an integer and there is only one type of it. Second, that is also one, that is a string type. Third, that also consists of one, that is boolean. Four also consists of one, that is a complex number. So this is what it shows. वो one multiple एक ही one क्या आ रहा है तो वो outcome थी. So what do here it is showing? Here it is showing that I have multiple components 1, 2, 3 and 4. The first one is consisting of, because it's a different type, so it is showing, and there is one type which is of int type and there is only one value of that type. Then I have second type which is again consists of one type, that is string. So this is how it works, and everything depends on the list, depends on the index values. So here you can see the command is written my list and third. So what is the third value? So this is the first value, this is the second value, and this is the third value, true. So it has returned that there is one value in this and that is true. So this is how we have to do. So please try this command and press enter. It will gives you this output. We will tell you, Aarti ma'am, we will tell you how to extract data from database here in our sabhi sessions honge. Now 5 days we have to do our, we can't jump directly on to extracting data from database here in our today on day 1. So first be comfortable with our environment, then we will do. Definitely we will do. एक्सेल से भी किया था, इसमें भी करेंगे, उस पे क्वेरीज भी लिखेंगे. We will write queries also. MySQL queries we will write. And we will tell you how to bring data from Excel, from MySQL, all we will tell you in our. Okay, done this. Logical vector you are talking about, Vineet Sharma ji, why it's showing false, false, false? Because by default logical vector has value as a false. So it was showing false, false, false. Okay. Now next, let us understand the data frame now. So what is a data frame? Data frame is used to store tabular data, and it is different. Always remember that it is different from a matrix, because in a matrix every element should belong to same class, but in data frame we have multiple vectors in it. Like one is storing roll numbers, one is employee IDs, one is storing employee names, another is storing employee gender, the fourth one is storing employee departments or office codes and so on. So it is what it they come from different classes. So this means every column of a data frame acts like a list. So a data frame is a combination of lists, like how you create tables, right? In Excel, you give first column headings and then you put values into it. Similar manner here, when we create a data frame, we have to create column wise. Okay, remember this. So we have to create it column wise. So what is the command to create this? So we have to create a data dot frame. So the command is data dot frame, and then we have taken one name as column. Column का जो name देना पड़ता है ना, ये वो name है. It could be anything, employee ID, employee name. So ये name कोई default value नहीं है, कुछ देना नहीं. It is whatever column name you want to give here. So here it is written name, and these names में ये value store किया. So then again we are creating a vector here. So vector we create with the help of a combine command, which consists of various names. So all those names get stored into a column called as name. Then next name, next column is what? Score. So this is what scores are. So let me execute this command so that it becomes easy for you to visualize what I mean to say. Like in Excel, suppose I'm creating two columns, it is equivalent to that. So one column ka name is name on the top and second one is score. And then let me print df also. So let me see the results of it. So you can see here it has created a column heading as name, another column heading as score, and there it numbers जो है ना 1 2 3, like here it was showing 1. So in the same manner it is showing that there are total 4 rows here. So numbers automatically comes 1 2 3 4 because everything in R gets stored as object and object gets a unique ID. इसी से आप याद रखिए. Every object in computers gets a unique ID. So it is showing us that there are total 4 objects here. So one is Ash, score is 67, Jane 56, Paul 87, Mark having 91 as score. So let me give you these commands so that you can execute them. Yes, I have put this so that you can execute it. And see the results. How do we create? And a data frame is very important because now we have to bring all the databases and we have to store into data frame if we want to do any kind of analytics. Directly table format nahi hai isme. So everything is to be converted into what this. Now suppose I want to see, as we have said that there are properties, attributes attached to each data type. So what were those? Its name. So name we know is df. Now next is what? Dimensions. So suppose I want to see the dimensions of this data frame. So for that the function is dim and then we can put the name of the data frame there. So it will give me its dimension that there are 4 rows and 2 columns. So how do we have to read these dimension? So first value is for number of rows and second value is for number of columns. So in this we have 4 rows and 2 columns. Now let me add my name here. So what will happen, and let me see. And then in the scores I am giving myself a score and let me execute it, and then you see that dimensions will be changed to 5 and 2. So as you can see here the dimensions have been changed, that there are 5 rows and 2 columns. Now suppose if I add one more column here and I'm giving the name as along with the score, let me give as what result as a name, and then equals to, and then is C, and now I have to put is 5 values. So I'm saying a result as pass, and then again I'm saying the second person is fail. Suppose let me take example, then another one is what? Pass, then another one is also pass, and then pass. Okay, so all the 5 values have been entered. Now the dimensions will become is what? 5 comma 3. That is 5 and 3. So you can see here the dimensions have been changed from 5 and 3. So all the 3 column headings have come: name, score and result. So even this you can make it for portfolios, for the stocks and all that information. If you want to keep, you can create different kinds of data frames. Shall I give you this command also so that you can work with it and see the results? These points are very much necessary to understand because this is what we are going to work with. Then let us go to this. It's data types in more detail, because without understanding those we won't be able to do anything. Is this visible now? तो ज़्यादा ही maximize हो गया. Okay. Okay, now let us learn how to create different kind of vectors, and then we will see a small case study which I have created for you. थोड़ा थोड़ा finance सीखने के लिए मैंने भी किया. Okay, so let's say here we will do entirely today with vectors, because again these vectors will be needed for our work. So here you can see that I have created a table, right, where it is showing that Asif sir and me, we are two colleagues working into a same organization, and then we are involved into day trading for a week, and we want to see our daily performance. So this is our profit and loss from the trading activity as shown below. On Monday, he has made a profit of $120, whereas I have made a loss, and so on. So this is how we have taken it for the 5 days. Again, my mouse pointer started. Okay. So how do we create different types of vectors, and what we are going to do? So here we will see the performance. Okay. What we want to see is performances of these two stocks. My God, think so, because I'm taking it online. That's the reason it is giving me a problem. Now there will be no issue. Yeah, now everything will be fine in my control. Okay, so see here, how do we will take those? So I am making these, so you also make this. I will put it into this chat window also. So the earnings of Asif sir, for that I have taken a vector named as Asif earnings, and for my earnings I have taken as Sanjeela's earnings, right? So two vectors have been created. So let me give you also, so that you can also do it simultaneously. It is going to be an interesting case study. जब तक ये आज का होगा नहीं, we will not leave. Okay. So this is how these two have been created. So one is this vector, another is this vector. So execute them and see whether they have been come into your console window. So if they have come, it means they have been created, and you can see into your environment also that it is showing Asif earnings and Sanjeela earnings. Right, so both the vectors have been created. Now what we are going to do, let us print their earnings one by one. So how do you will print these? Either by using print command or directly by writing the name of the vectors. So I have written this name of the vector Asif earnings, so it is showing me this. Then let me write Sanjeela earnings, so it will print that also, and then let me execute it. So it has printed my earnings also for a week, and then next. So let us go to next. Now we have printed this. Now let us do the vector operations. Now let us see how much total earnings we have made. So for that, what I'm doing is I'm creating one more variable, total earnings per day, and then we will store earnings into this. Our both earnings are stored into this, and let us print how much total earnings do we have. So let me print a total earnings. value, what it will give. So it will add both the values and give the results, right? So see here how do vector addition takes place. So vector one value, this is 120 added with one of this Sanjeela earnings. Vector addition is like how we do matrix addition, one with one. So first element got added with the first one. So here it was positive value, here it is negative. So 120 minus 30, it has given the answer as 90. Then second day, it is minus 40 minus 60. So total is minus 100. Then next day earning 25 plus 80. So it has given as 105. So the next day is what again? Similar manner, minus 130 and minus 250, total is minus 380. 260 plus 200, total is 460. So you can see here total earnings per day has come, where it is showing that on 2 days we have made the loss and on other days we have made the profit. So it is showing in that way. So this is how you can work with these vectors, right? So let us now have learned the total earnings together. So what will happen if we want to see it differently? Means we want to see how much Asif has made the earnings in a week and how much Sanjeela has made. So uske liye again we are creating a variable Asif total, in which I have said do the sum of Asif earnings. So here we are doing the sum of a single vector. So it will show me the sum of the single vector, and then I will print its value. So it will show me that value. So you can see here it has shown me total is 235. So you can do the total also. 120 minus 40 is 80. 80 plus 25, it will come around 105 minus 130 plus 260. So it has given me the total is this much. Okay, then let us do for Sanjeela ka earnings. Similar manner, it will give my earnings and do the total of it. And then we can print for my also values, right? So it will give me my total, that is sum of my earnings. So it will give me the sum of my earnings, right? Right. अच्छा ये execute ही नहीं किया था पीछे वाला. So it has given me that. So you can see here I am in loss. I have lost $60. So for me the market is not good. ऐसे ही आम जनता डरती है इसीलिए नहीं करती है इन्वेस्ट. So let us see how much total earnings. See here what do I am doing is, so let us see what is the total earnings by both of us, and let me print total earnings here. So I'm doing total earning. So total earnings is what it has done, 235 minus 60, because my was in 60. So total earnings is what, if we will combine that, overcome the loss, so total earnings we have made is of $175. Okay, so let me give you all these commands. You also try this till what I have given. I think I have given in the beginning, उसके बाद दिया ही नहीं शायद से. Okay, let me give you all this so that you can also try. Yes, please try this. Now visible? Okay, now let me compare the performance. How do we can see whether Asif has वो दिख रहा है हमें, but how do we can do it with the help of inbuilt functions? So let us see how he has made this. So how do we can check that? So for that I have created a variable Asif versus Sanjeela, and then we are saying is Asif's earning greater than this. So what it will return? If it is more than this, it will return true. If it is not, it will return false. So it is going to give us a Boolean result. So what it has given, where it was true on day 1, it was true, you can say 120 is more than this. Then minus 40 and minus 60, yes, true. 25 and 1 and 80. Now see here, on this day he has not made more than me, so here it has returned as true. Then next, minus 130 and 250, true, he has made more. 260 and 200, yes, he has made true, so it has given the answer as true. So this is how we have made a day-wise comparison, that how were his earnings. So he has made more earnings than me, and then total we have already taken. So let me see the overall performance of this. So how do we will see with the help of this, that overall performance is what, Asif total is greater than me or not. So when we have written this, and let me print the value of it, that what it shows for overall performance. So what it has given, yes, Asif has made the overall performance of Asif shares is more, that we have already seen, that he has made a profit of 235 and I have made a loss of $60. So this is how we can check overall also. Right, and even we can check these totals. Right, so let us now understand the differences between both the earnings. So we are printing the difference here. Right, so difference has come for every day. What is the difference between the two values? So Asif earnings minus this, so it has shown me what are the differences there. So I have got the differences also. Let me put these commands for you to run it. Somebody has queried that when I am able to do everything with the Excel, then why do I am learning R? Please wait for another 4 days to give you answer for this, when you will be able to see it practically. Okay, when we will be doing the various case studies, then you will understand that why we have to learn this R. As I said, that R is meant for financial analytics, and we can do a lot of data analytics with it. So be patient, give us 4 more times to prove why R. Instead of this, it gives the value. Yes, here it is giving the values now, where we have shown who has made this. Here minus say I got the values also. R is showing error, couldn't find function sum. Nishant sir, and who else is Nishant sir is only getting this error. that R is showing error, couldn't find sum. Sir, I think so. R is not installed properly and problem is solved. Okay, fine. कुछ मिस्टेक किया होगा या तो कमांड लिखने में, और कई बार क्या होता है कि कोई लाइब्रेरी साथ में इंस्टॉल नहीं होता है, अगर नेट कनेक्शन स्लो रहेगा, then also it gives error, or otherwise sometimes you make mistakes while writing syntaxes. So these are the two reasons why it gives. Now let us understand a vector index concept. So if I want to see Asif earnings on third day, what were his earnings on the third day? As you said that I want to see the object. So you can directly query like this and it will return a value that on third day he has made a profit of $25. And suppose I want to see a range of it that start from second day to fifth day, right? So what happens is when we are saying here earnings from second to 5, so which values it will show me? So it is showing me two values. I have said show me second value and fifth value, comma hai na? So show me the second value and fifth value means week day 2, that is what was his earnings on Tuesday and Friday. Now what happens that I want to see it from 2 to 5, then I have to use here as colon. So let me take directly 2 to 5, matlab start from day 2 and till day 5. So then I need to put here as colon, and when I will execute it will show me day 2, day 3, day 4 and day 5. So let me give you all these commands. You should also run and see this. Okay. Then next is how we can give names to the vectors. Can you see here in this earnings when we have put my earnings or this? So when we were writing, it was giving just bare the values. What happens if we want it should show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday? Proper name, column names and all that. So for that we can give these vectors as names. So what we are doing, so you can see here. So first I need to create a vector called as days in week. So Monday to Friday is been written this, and now what do I want is कि give this names of weeks to my earnings. ठीक है? So what do I am assigning? कि name Sanjeela earnings को what will you give? Days in week. So my earnings will get names as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right? What do they will get? They will get these values. Okay, and then if I will print my earnings, so it will give me the values with Monday to Friday. Can you see here? It is showing me now Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So let me send it to you. You also do this and see this magic. See here, because I have not given any names to Asif earnings, so it has not taken any names here. So similar manner, I can give this to his earnings also, then it will take for his also. So I can give here. So it will take for him also, and then you can see it is showing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for him as well. Right? So you can do this. Okay, now let us see, like somebody has asked कि ऐसा कुछ क्यों नहीं लेते? So here I will say that I want to see only positive earnings. दूसरा चाहिए ही नहीं. Right? So how do we will take that? So what we are saying, take a positive vector नेम दिया है, only print those values when total earnings were greater than 0 and create this as a vector. So name क्या दे दिया उसको, positive vector. So what do it will do, it will create a vector with the values when total earnings were greater than 0. So let us see. So the total earnings were greater than 0. So it has given the value as true. So there was only one day when it has happened, when the earnings were greater than 0. So now here I want to see what was it. So for that we can use this command. So it is showing me as what, and let me print that its value, and it will show me that. So it was 175 value when it was positive. So let me give you this also, right? So take this, right? So you might have seen also total earnings. May let me show you when we have made it total earnings. So you can see that we have run that now at one point total earnings. So from there you will get the results. Total earnings का print किया था ना एक बार. So we can go back and see total earnings. ये देखो यहाँ आया था ना, total earnings were 175. So that was only the positive value. So it has shown that. Okay. हमने total earnings का लिया ना, positive vector. If it is greater than 0, store that value. So yes, it is greater than 0. The total earnings greater than 0, true. So true value was stored. Then we want to print where it was true. So we have said in total earnings go and print true value kya thi. So it has printed that because we have learned we can get it through an index. So index say it has shown this, right? So value we have got now. Now we can print the positive earning days. What are those? Next question यही आने वाला था, हमें ये चाहिए. So how do we can get that? So this is how we can get that. इसमें क्या हुआ है, हमने शायद मैंने इधर कुछ गड़बड़ कर दिया. Let me do it again from here. Days आ गया, then names आ गया, then total earnings आ गया. Total earnings का vector is where? Let me take vector. Vector नहीं बनाया था हमने इसलिए गड़बड़ हो गया. ये वाला vector चाहिए, per day वाला. Okay, then total earnings per day I need. So, and then we can execute this. So it will give total earnings per day. It was the per day. So what we want is total earnings per day. It show us the values. Right, so it has shown all the positive values were on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So let me send you all this again. वो थोड़ा वेरिएबल सेटिंग का इशू था अपना, कहाँ मैंने चेंजेस किया, कैसे किया, गड़बड़ नहीं होना चाहिए. So do it. So it will gives you when were the positive values, right? Nishant sir, I have shown that. If we want to see only results of days we gain, I have shown this. So done, everybody done this till this? If you are done, let me know. So in R, we will do this type of small case studies so that you understand the concepts also, and it will be of your use as well. I think matrices we won't be able to do today, and factors let me do it tomorrow then. Yeah, factors and all that we will do it tomorrow. And then it is going to take time. Yes. So let me give you a brief summary of what we did today. So first we started with triggers, right, where you were being made aware of what is a trigger and all that. And then second, we have started with basics of R. So where we discussed about the various data types in R. So we started with first basic arithmetic operations, how we can do this. And then we did is all about vectors, which is a very important data type in R. And then we have learned how we can do multiple operations onto a vector. Right? I hope everybody has understood the concept of vectors today. Any doubts to anyone related to vectors? Purposefully, I have taken the name of earnings and those so that it could become this. Yes, yes, Babita ji, we will share everything with you. Don't worry. Now, all the name, how can we save this? Very good question. So just go to file and then say save. So it will ask you to save, right? So you can save anywhere, wherever you want, give the file name and save it, right? So this is how you can save. I can type, I can just use a shorthand notation also, Control S, and then wherever, whichever path you want to save, you can save it there. So it will get saved, this file. And if you don't want to use control plus enter, अगर keyboard नहीं लेना है तो select this and you will see run here, right? So you can run from here also. So these are the different ways how you can run the commands. So I generally prefer is keyboard ka shortcuts. So that's the reason we have told you to select and do control plus enter. How to see only positive values for earnings? Nishanji, we have shown na this. Last May we did what? ये positive earning days आया ना उससे value. You can see here Monday, Wednesday and Friday it has shown positive earning days. We have written na show us only positive earning days. So positive earning days is total earnings per day and positive vector, and then we have displayed its values. So यहाँ पे हमने लिया था ना positive vector true, true, true. So 3 days it was true. So what we have said, positive vector has 3 true values. So 1, 2 and 3. So we said total earnings per day and positive vector ka value. So positive vector is having value as true, true and true. So total earnings per day ka positive vector 1, 3 and 5. So this vector will be having value as 1, 3, 5. So total trainings per day ka value at 1, 3 and 5 it has picked and shown here. Yes, you will get all the recorded sessions once this course is over. How can we export the results? Export the results, I didn't get. Tejas sir, what you want to say? Which results you want to export? Acha, results are shown in console. But why you want this? You can have a Word file also parallelly with it. You can directly take copy and paste into a notepad file, into a anywhere you can do that. Okay, if you want to store them. So let us move towards ending this session for the day. I hope everybody enjoyed this, because today I have taken very basic about R. So tomorrow we will cover matrices, factors, and then a bit more about R. Only true or false, you might have not taken array. ये वाला कमांड रन नहीं किया होगा आपने. This command, positive earning days to total earnings per day into square brackets positive vector, and then you have to print is positive earning days, then only it will print. See this. So it has printed. ये कमांड रन नहीं हुई होगी आपकी, इसीलिए ट्रू फॉल्स दे रहा है. ये कमांड रन कीजिए. सबसे पहले ये नहीं बनाया, या तो टोटल अर्निंग्स पर डे पॉजिटिव वेक्टर. Have you created positive vector first? Execute it. It will create a positive vector. See this, with true, false, true, false, true. All the values have come, right? So it has created this, and then it is going to create is where the values are true only. Okay. Chaliye. Then this is all from our side. I am not getting day heading over positive earnings. Have you created this days in week, and then have you given names to the earnings? Days in a week, we have given days in a week to names to these earnings. So ये आपने run नहीं किया होगा. That's the reason you are not getting headings. So run this. See, once I execute this, I will start getting headings. See this, I got the headings. So you might have missed this. You might have not used these commands. Days in a week and names, then you might have not given names to these earnings. Excel connector is uploaded onto Drive. Let me show you. It's uploaded drive.google.com. It's uploaded. See this, it's uploaded today, and I can click on to shared with me, and you can see this MySQL for Excel 1.3.8.msi. The file is being uploaded. Okay, Sanjay sir, please check the Google Drive. It is been uploaded there. Here it is, MySQL for Excel. It is there. So that's all from my side for today. So thank you everybody. See you all tomorrow at the same time, 6 p.m. मिश्रा जी,
हाँ मैम बोलिए.
एंड करते हैं वेबिनार.
चलेगा.
Okay. Shall I leave now?
सज्जन सर, हेलो सचिन सर, चलेगा मैम। ओके
Thank you.
ओके, बाय मैम।